I'm Eric Napper. I'm right here from Alexandria, Virginia. Been here all my life. This is my home. I was on a holiday weekend, I think was maybe on a Monday, but my tooth actually cracked Friday night. And, you know, most dentists was closed, you know. Went through the weekend, and about Sunday, it was like, man, I got to do something, you know. And I said, well, let me try anyway on that Monday. I said, I'm gonna try anyway. And I called about 3 different places, and you actually picked up, and you was like, well, how far are you from here? I said, well, I'll explain what was going on. I can get there in about 15 minutes. He said, okay, well, come on down or whatever, you know what I mean? So that alone right there was something that, because I had been calling and leaving messages in case anyone would call back. No one had called me back and whatever. Came out, you took a look at it, and you was like, man, I got to do a little bit of work here, you know, because by that time it was infected and all of that stuff. And I was like, well, okay, we can do whatever you need to do. And then that started the process, you know, that's what started the process. I still say it had to be something a little bigger to put you right here just for, because I think you were doing your office here, and you just happened to be here. I mean, those things just don't happen on accident for me. I had several options. A lot of folks were saying that they didn't like the implant thing. I have a couple of people in my life who have had them done, and so I was like, well, this, that, I said, let me weigh the options here, because the situation with my mouth at that time, I knew there was going to be some extensive work. So I said, well, you know, if I'm going to be going over and over and over and over and over and over and over, back and forth, I might as well just go ahead on and do one big thing and see how it worked. And I said, well, and if it didn't work, I could always get them removed and just get some dentures, you know. But when we first started, I was like a little leery of it. And so, but then the folks made me feel so comfortable. The process of being put under sedation seemed a lot more feasible for me, and I'm glad I took that option. The process was really nice. I really recommend that. Even though I was out come to some time and I could see work being done, I was in no pain whatsoever. And that's what everybody had me leery of. They was talking about how painful it was. I'm telling you, I have never really felt any pain through this whole process. From the moment that I was put under sedation, like I said, I came to, and I could see work being done through, you know, I was covered, and I could see people working in my mouth, you know, and I could tell they had like a wrench, and they were wrenching. I couldn't feel it, and I was like, okay, wait a minute, something ain't right here. So I said, I have to go to the bathroom, and I was able to even go to the bathroom and stuff like that. And then as the process went on, when I got my temporary teeth, that was a blessing in a nutshell right there. I mean, even though I had to do some soft foods and stuff in the beginning, and then kind of build up to start to get some more solid food in, and that process was very easy for me. I actually gained a couple pounds, believe it or not, you know, and then when I finally got my permanent teeth, that little piece of gristle that's on the end of a breast of a piece of chicken, it's the greatest thing I ever sucked my teeth into in a long time. I was able to chew it up, you know, and everything is fine. And even today, I don't have any problems eating anything. Now, I don't take chances on like hard candies and that kind of stuff, whatever, but I've never had any problems about eating. And for me, that's the real beauty of this thing. I take care of them. This is not something you just want to just throw in your mouth and just act like you can just do anything, because, you know, they're important for you to take care of your teeth, you know, which I didn't do before I got these. Now these, I'm gonna take care of. I've had this done for about 2 years now. And when I first got my permanent teeth, I was always kind of leery on biting like corn on the cob, you know, those type things, raw vegetables, because I eat a lot of salads, you know, the cauliflowers and that kind of stuff. You know, I like that, whatever. And I used to be real leery of it because I didn't want anything to happen with my teeth. Like I say, chicken. I come from a family that say that don't bring your dog to a cookout at my family because he ain't gonna have nothing but bone left, you know, because we clean chicken like you got a brush on them or something like that. People laugh at the way we eat chicken, you know, and stuff like that. I'm having a good time just being able to like just enjoy my food, you know, without fear. Because before I got these teeth, I mean, my teeth was in such bad shape. I had some that would move. I would have one tooth would actually like pop out, and I could pop it back in and put it behind another tooth in order for it to stay. Just being out in like in public, having dinner out in public, man, it's like it's remarkable now. You know, I can sit around, and I know my self-esteem has gotten a lot better. Cookout that I was able to go to, one of my buddies that I knew from back in the day said, man, you all right, man? I said, yeah, I'm good, man. He said, man, you sure you all right, man? You know, Yeah, I'm good, man. And you doing a whole lot of smiling for no reason, you know what I mean? Stuff like that, and that's stuff that I wouldn't do that. I would very rarely smile. If I did, it was the closed mouth kind of smile or the smirk. I find myself smiling quite a bit, you know, but as far as like I say, love hard, chewable stuff. Like I like raw vegetables and stuff like that. I don't like steamed vegetables. I want to be able to feel when I'm eating and I'm able to enjoy it much better now. Just being out in public or being around people that I haven't seen in a while, especially like females. Cause I got 7 sisters and they would always say, when you gonna do something with your teeth? When you gonna, you know, that kind of thing. A couple of them anyway, you know what I mean, whatever. And so, man, I'm all right, you know, whatever. But now it's like, I wear this smile and I want people to ask me, you know, man, you got a good sense of, yeah, and then I go through my spiel about what happened in order for me to have this type of smile. And I can get anybody to go down this path at an earlier stage in life instead of waiting so long to have up, because I do know doing research that a lot of other ailments can come from having bad teeth and having bad hygiene and that kind of stuff with your mouth and whatever. And so, like I say, for me, with the history of my life, to be the age that I am now, I can always look forward to a longevity, because longevity runs in my family, but I had 2 brothers who did not have the opportunity that I did. They died at 56, 57 years old due to some complications, you know, which I could possibly come up with someday. But I think that, you know, by being able to have a decent set of teeth in your mouth, helps with my digestion, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So I'm very, I'm looking forward to having a long life as far as that goes. You know, and it's changed my mind, because I didn't think I would be 67 years old at one point in my life. I really didn't. So, you know, and even to add to this with this smile and whatever case may be, and people will say, you know, you're always so pleasant, you're always so calm. Well, that's because I don't have to worry about a lot of things. And one of the biggest things I used to hate in the morning was when I did brush my teeth, was to look at my teeth, you know? And so it's made a big difference in the way I feel about life in general, because I like the man in the mirror today. If I could say anything about Dr. Jamie and this process, man, and when I first met Dr. Jamie, it was a one-on-one thing, because it was a day when no one was here, it was just him. But when I came for the first time, I'm gonna tell you, when I stepped through that door and his staff made me feel so comfortable, right? I mean, it was nothing like, I mean, I know you have a business setting, but it was like meeting somebody that you know. And you know, it was like somebody that they had already said, oh, how you doing, Mr. Napper? Man, come on in, like da. We had to go through some paperwork, and they just, every time I come here, I've had some issues in life, you know, where you have to go to doctors and that kind of stuff. And it's so professional that it's like, okay, I gotta do this. You know what I mean? But when I get the text saying, okay, your appointment's coming up, whatever, it's like, man, I'm going down there and see the crew. You know what I mean? I know I'm gonna see D, you know, I'm gonna see Carlos. And we're gonna kick it, you know what I mean? And it's not gonna be just like, okay, let me go and get my teeth clean, pay the money, and leave. It's not like that. I look forward to coming here. It's very rarely that I have found situations like this when it comes to health and seeing somebody about your health that you actually look forward to coming.